Joining us now with reaction, Louisiana Senator John Kennedy is with us. Senator, great to see you. How are you, sir?
Well, thanks, Sean.
You know, you're one of my favorite interviews because you're down home, you're kind of folksy, and you make a lot of sense, and I like common sense, right? So I'm thinking maybe we're a lot alike because I bet you had children, and when your children did something wrong, which every kid is going to do, right? You know, we roll with that, but then when your kids say to you, you know, they have chocolate cookie all over their face, you told them not to eat the cookie, and there's cookie all over their face, and they look you in the eye and they say, no, I did not eat the cookie. I assume you're the kind of guy that gets more mad at the lie than you do at the actual act of eating the cookie, because that's how I am. I feel like this lie is far more serious because it was on national security. And that is, we had a cognitively compromised president. And now we're finding out they didn't give this guy a PSA, since 2014? The most basic test ever with the best medical care that anybody would ever have in the country? Seriously? Can you explain this?
No. My biggest concern with all of this has to do with the state of the media in America today, Sean. And let me explain what I mean by that. I watched bits and pieces of the White House Correspondents Association dinner this year. And I listened to speaker after speaker, all Washington reporters, defend freedom of the press. And I kept thinking they wouldn't have to defend it if they didn't work so hard to undermine it every day. The American people saw what I saw, what you saw for years with respect to President Biden. And I'm sorry President Biden is sick, but we all saw the same thing for years. We saw a president who couldn't finish a sentence without taking a nap. We saw a president who, an elderly man who talked like he was from outer space. He walked like he was underwater. You could bake a Thanksgiving turkey in the time it took him to walk across the stage. The 90% of the American media not only never reported that, but when Democrats and many Republicans raised the issue, they pushed back. And this is just one more example of so many members of our media squandering the trust of the American people. There are other examples. The Steele dossier, the Hunter Biden laptop. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but that to me is what makes me want to stick my head in an oven. Today, the media is happy, after Mr. Tapper's book's coming out, the media is happy to report it. But none of them have taken responsibility for not reporting what was so obvious to the American people. Hypocrisy never takes a vacation around here, I can tell you.
You know, Senator, we were showing videos of his cognitive decline long before the 2020 election, and we showed it regularly. And fake Jake Tapper, as we showed, and fake news CNN, they were out there. I was being excoriated for at least a year and a half, 2 years, and beaten up, and then it was called cheap fake videos, as we just played. And I'm sitting here. You really have to be either ignorant or dumb or have a political agenda. I think they always had a political agenda, and it was to stop Trump, hate Trump, Trump derangement syndrome. That's the root of it to me. What is the root of it to you?
I have heard one reporter, I think his name is Alex Thompson with Axios, stand up and say, we should have done our job. We should have reported what we saw. Now, many people in the media now are reporting on Mr. Tapper's book. But I haven't heard a single, other than Mr. Thompson, a single member of the Washington press corps stand up and say, boy, we blew that. And that's what I mean by squandering the American people's trust. Why did they do that? I think that they thought, I don't think they were in love with President Biden. I think they thought that anything that hurt President Biden would help the Republicans and would help President Trump. And it's this persistence in practicing advocacy journalism that is destroying freedom of the press and the First Amendment in America today. And there's either no self-awareness among many members of the media, or they're lying because it's so obvious. I'm not asking them to take my side on everything. I'm just asking them meaning members of the media, to be curious, to report
Senator,
what they see.
I said after the November 5th election, the state-run legacy media mob is officially dead, but they don't know it yet. I think they're dead. They have lied one too many times. You mentioned Hunter Biden's laptop. You mentioned FISA. You mentioned the dirty Russian dossier. They all knew that Joe was in cognitive decline. They all lied. They all covered up. And the American people rightfully have determined they're not trustworthy. You have to earn people's trust, Senator. You do. And one of the ways you earn it is you be honest with them. They were never honest. I'll give you the last word.
Well, to gain respect, you have to act respectfully and responsibly. And that, to me, is the story in all this. It's not President Biden. God bless him. I'm sorry he's sick. It's not a book.
Same here.
It's the trust of the American people that the media squandered.
They all knew, Senator, and if they say they didn't know, I don't believe them.
Of course they knew.
My opinion. Of course they know. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.